Okay, so today's webinar is for World First Aid Day, simple tools to have for those unexpected moments. And it's brought to you by Well, the Canadian Association of Bioenergetic Wellness. Our vision is creating a world where the many bioenergetic wellness disciplines and modalities are recognized, valued, and utilized as people make choices to improve their quality of life. And our mission, as champions of personal choice in health and wellness, our members work together, encouraging ongoing professional development in the field of bioenergetic wellness to better provide services and education to the public. You can find us at canbewell.org. We have a public newsletter that is sent out 4 times a year, and you can sign up for that on our website. We have our Facebook pages, the Canadian Association of Bioenergetic Wellness, as well as Well, the group. We also have a YouTube channel where we place all of our videos, and that's under Well. If you want to learn more, we have a supporting membership, which is only $25, and we also have an introductory membership for those that have taken a first-time course. Today's presentation is brought to you by the Leadership Team Webinar Committee, and we're very happy to be able to present the wonderful presenters today. And this is our contact list. And I'll bring this up again at the end of the webinar. So if you have anybody you wish to contact, you have that information.
Yeah, that could happen.
All right. Ginny, would you like to just do the first introductions?
Yes. Our first presenter this afternoon or this evening is Michelle Greenwald, a Touch for Health and Therapeutic Touch instructor, as well as a doctoral student in integrative health. Michelle is the current leadership team president of Well and will be sharing with us today emotional stress release, figure eights, and injury recall, technique for support of emergency situations when medical assistance has not arrived or if calming is required in a situation. Michelle is always striving to find the tools to put into the hands of others. She strives to support people in bringing energy and vitality to their lives. Welcome, Michelle.
Thanks, Ginny. All right. So one of my favorite tools that I first learned in Touch for Health, my very, very first class in anything about bioenergetic wellness, was the ESR. And this tool I have used for everything. Lots of different things happen across the day, and it is so easy to use this tool. So you're going to just take your fingertips, and they're just going to be going to your forehead. So in order to try this today, let's think about something that you may have had happen in your day that was a little bit stressful. Don't pick anything too earth-shattering. And if you think on a scale from 0 to 10, what that might have felt like stress like. Give that number to yourself. And, sorry, I'm just going to, there we go. So you've got your scale from 0 to 10, and just thinking about that event, just notice what happens to your body, where the tension might be in it. Notice what happens to your breath. And now what I'd like you to do is just take your fingertips, place them on your forehead, and then just take a deep breath in. And then let that go. And take another deep breath in. And let that go. So now if you're thinking about your day, and you think of something that brought you some joy today, maybe what you saw, maybe what you smelled. I had the beautiful tomatoes and the grapes were sending beautiful fragrances in today while I was working at the computer. Another deep breath. And then just notice how the body might be shifting. And you'll usually know by some kind of a sigh or deeper breath, maybe just the shoulders just kind of sink a little bit. And that's when you know you've had a transition from that higher stress period into something a little bit more relaxing. So now if you go to your stress level from 0 to 10, think about where you started and to see if that number maybe has changed. It may not have gone down right to 0. And if it didn't, you could certainly spend a little bit more time holding your fingertips there and then just allow another layer to go. Again, looking for that nice deep breath or that relaxation to come into the shoulders, and then just hold that. So you'll notice that when people are a little bit stressed, they often will put their hand to their forehead. So they try to think about how they want to cope with things. Or if you see students who are studying, oftentimes they'll put their elbow onto the desk and their hand will go to their forehead. Again, they're using that same technique to try to just calm things. One of my family members rubs their head. So I always know when they're starting to get really about something they're working on, because that will just start. And then I'll know, okay, we need to just take a step back here. If you were in a situation where someone required first aid, you're waiting for help to arrive, or you just needed to calm the situation down, I brought my teddy bear in, and I'll just move my computer a little bit here. You can see I brought my teddy bear. So what I could do is if I had somebody with me and they needed a little bit of care, what I could do is just have them lying down. I could just put my fingertips really lightly on the forehead here and just hold the same. And I could talk to the person, but I also could take some deep breaths and just get them to match my breathing. It's a great way to just calm the whole system down. If there's something that's really traumatic that has happened, you can also put the hand on top of the forehead, and you can put the other hand on the back, as I'm holding onto the nose, onto the back of the head, just at the base of the skull, and just hold really lightly and just hold that space. This tool is also wonderful if you are having trouble going to sleep, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep. Very often what I will do in that case is I will put my hand on my forehead, put my other hand behind, and I'll just roll over on my side. And it won't be long before I'm back asleep. All right, so that's a little bit about emotional stress release, or they refer to it as ESRs. And that comes from the Touch for Health training that I've had. I know it also is in the brain gym protocols, as well as in Maskatova neuroreflex integration. I know I've seen it there as well. I'm sure it's in many other places. So let me take you to another tool that I did learn in Touch for Health. It's also referred to as Tibetan figure eights. In Eden energy medicine, it's known as a Celtic weave. So this one is tracing a figure eight, and that's all that you're really doing. And your hand just traces the figure eight pattern. So if somebody were to say bang their elbow and they had a pain in the elbow, you could take your hand and just trace the figure eight. So if you happen to have a little ache or pain somewhere at the moment, maybe something in your shoulder or your neck, and you wanted to trace that figure eight, doesn't have to be on the body, it can be off the body, it can be a fair distance, and just tracing. So I'm just going to come here. In Tai Chi, after we've done some deep breathing and some of the movements for a little bit, very often I can feel the energy of my hand on the top. Even though I'm above, I can still, the hairs on my arm sometimes will raise, just because I can feel that energy flowing back and forth from the palm into my arm. And it's just a very gentle sweep. So now you could be right over top of a space, but your hand may decide it just wants to move a little bit further, and it might sweep further. And you can do that. And you can sweep until you feel you don't need to go anymore. Sometimes the hand gets a little bit mixed up, doesn't know what it wants to do. And then that's when you know you're good to let it go. So I have had dancers who have had falls on the floor, turned an ankle or something while we've been dancing. And if we sit down on the floor and the whole group sits down, we all take the time, take some deep breaths, And then we allow that person to either trace the figure 8 themselves, or we can trace it for them. And we can do it as a group. So we can all be tracing and just connecting with each other, and just take the time for that person to be able to just resolve whatever their issue was from their falling or twisting. And that gives us another tool. Okay, and the last one I want to share with you is known as injury recall technique. And there are several aspects to this that we can play with. I'm going to give you the most basic. This one, if you want to just measure where your flexibility is at. So you could do that by turning your head and notice what your head is feeling like at the moment, what the shoulders, feel what's happening through the neck. You might want to reach down and just touch your toes and just see what it feels like. Not that you need to reach your toes, just what does it feel like. That'll give you a little gauge of how we've changed things. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do 3 little pieces to this. The first one is to make 2 cones and bring them to your jaw. And this one, you're just going to put your head forward and straight 3 times. And we're pulling on the back of the neck, base of the skull. Now we're going to take and put our fingertips into the top of the head towards the back, and just very lightly with your fingertips, and nod 3 more times. Okay. And then whether you reached for your toes or you turned your head, if you had an ache or a pain or something that you wanted to work on, you could put your hand on the pain. If you're measuring what's happening in the neck, then let's put our hands there, and then just put your head forward 3 more times. And if it happened to be that, say, you were measuring the legs and you were stretching down towards your toes, you can tap into the little space between your foot and your leg bone. I'll use my hand here. This would be my foot. This would be my leg bone. And just tapping into, there's a little dimple right in there. And what you would do is just tap into that space. Sometimes, if I'm working with seniors that can't reach their ankle, we'll tap into our wrist. But if you can, just reach down and tap into the ankle on both sides. Just a gentle tap, about 10 times. And that will also assist. So you did head nod, 3 times each. Holding the space, head nod 3 more times, and then tap. Okay, so now what you want to do is either reach down to touch your toes to see what that feels like, or turn your head and just see if you notice a difference. I didn't think it was so tight, but I can notice the difference. It's definitely looser. And what happens with injury recall technique is when you have the experience of a movement pattern that maybe caused you an injury, or you had an emotional experience that the body tensed up on, we hold that tension in the tissue, and just doing that little technique releases, and then it just lets it go. And the body's able to start to return to something that's a little bit more normal. In the handouts that'll come out with this webinar, there's some background on that, and a link to some more information if that's of interest to you. So those are my 3 techniques that I use pretty much every day, and I hope that they'll turn out to be something of value for you. And I will now bring Ginny back, and I will let her introduce the next speaker and the tools that they have to share for first aid.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Our next speaker is Sandra Genvey, who is a natural BioEnergetic specialist. Sandra will be sharing an emergency synergy tap to assist when there is a reaction to something that creates an allergic reaction. This is not to replace an EpiPen or seeking medical advice, but to provide a means to assist until help can arrive, or to reduce the level of reaction. Sandra's greatest joy is seeing people's health restored and they're coming alive to who they were created to be. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Virginia. Hello, everyone. Have you ever had the experience of walking through the perfume aisle in a department store? Probably not recently, but walking through and all of a sudden feeling like you're going to sneeze? Or maybe you're out for supper and you've had something and you think, oh, that doesn't agree with me, and you all of a sudden feel a little off. Or maybe it's allergy season and you're outside and you've been raking leaves and all of a sudden you feel itchy throat, a bit sneezy. I'm going to show you something that we call an emergency synergy tap in natural bioenergetics. And it's a way to turn off the symptoms. So the feeling of nausea or the feeling of an itchy throat or watery eyes or sneezy. And I've used this quite a bit. And it's almost like having an energetic antihistamine because it just gives a message to the body to calm down. And I'm going to show you that now. I'm going to ask you that right now that you just feel your body here and put your finger in that little sternal notch, that little place right there where your collarbone comes there. And we're going to do a counterclockwise tap. It's called a thymus tap. You get a thymus gland right under there, under your sternum. And that little gland is a great messenger for the production of hormones that help your body with its immune system. So you're going to do a counterclockwise tap. You're going to do opposite to me. If you put your hand on the left side, go up towards your throat and around. That's the thymus tap. We just do this just for a few times around to wake up the energy system and to let it know that we're going to do a bit of work right now. All right. This is a little bit like the ESR that Michelle showed us in a different way, but it just gives a bit of a settling feeling to the body. You might have a sigh or a deep breath, okay? Now I'm going to take off my glasses to do this because the very first tap that we do with this Synergy Emergency Tap is we tap right at the corner of the eyes. For those of you who know endpoints of meridians, this is the bladder meridian, the beginning of it. And you're going to tap quite firmly, just right there at the top of the bridge of the nose, about 30 times or so. You do that. The next tap is right here on the cheekbones, directly under your pupils, not out here, right directly there, okay? Again, quite firmly on your cheekbones. You don't want to give yourself a bruise, but you do want to just bring energy to that area. This is the end point of a stomach meridian. That's right. Again, about 30 times or so. The next place is just feel your collarbone again there. You're going to find a little dip between a couple ribs right there. You're going to just tap there to bring energy to this area. These are kidney endpoints. It's like that. You can probably hear me tap, 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 tap. Last one, this is the fourth set of points. It's just under the arm. I'm going to stand up so you can see. For women, it's just where your bra line is. So it's just directly under your armpit. Do I have a sweaty shirt there? Oh, brother. Okay, tap, tap, tap there. I find it easy to tap like that. Or you could tap like this if you wanted to do that, like that. You could do that as well. So this is the emergency synergy tap. Whenever you feel a reaction to something and you just want to give the message to your energy system to calm down, settle down, and you want to do this a few times, you could do it several times over the course of an hour. Again, here at the bridge of your nose, right in by the corner of your eyes there, nice and close, cheekbones, collarbone, and under the arms. And that's it, the emergency synergy tap.
Thank you very much,
You're
Sandra. And we appreciate all your help. Our next panelist is Susan Terris, who is a bioenergetic neurodevelopmental therapist. Susan will be sharing her experience with brain gym and Mastikova. I said it wrong. I'm so sorry. I've been practicing all day too. Neuroreflex integration through kinesthetic exploration and its relevance in calming the system, as well as auditory and visual programming. Susan's background comes from personal experience and exploration into alternative and metaphysical knowingness through movement. reflexes, and developmental strategies that are missed or integrated into the body with trauma. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Virginia. I see we're paralleling a little bit in some of the ideas as we go forward, but we're all coming with a different little piece to add. So it'll be wonderful to keep moving forward in all this. This is the Maskatov pamphlet. If you can see the spelling, I don't know if that comes backwards on your screen or not, but anyway, Dr. Svetlana Maskatova. And Rangium is the other strategy that I'm going to talk about today, using some of the pieces that we've done through Michelle and, sorry, the other lady, I'm sorry. Okay, so what we work with in a lot of areas is the fight-flight system that puts us into utilizing our reflexes and holding contraction and postures in our body. Those contractions within the body set the stage for lowering our blood flow and causing more breath. We're breathing faster, and we are just not thinking properly. It takes all our thought process out of our body. So what I want to do is make this really reactionary for you so you can feel it in your own body. And I'm going to invite everybody to stand up with me. I'll stand back far enough so you can see me. And putting your feet at shoulder width apart, get a sense of how you're standing. Feel this in the body. Feel whether you're upright, feel whether your head is aligned in the middle of your shoulders. Feel whether you can move in this posture. As you're standing, do you feel yourself on a flat foot? Do you feel yourself moving back onto your heel? Do you feel yourself moving onto your toes? As we think about reflexes, as you move forwards, this is going into a different aspect of all of this. As you move forward, are your toes going into a toe grasp, or are they lifting? As you come back onto your heels, what's happening to help you keep your balance? Are you coming up onto are your toes coming up, or are they going into a grasp? Just a little bit of a piece of awareness. As you're standing here, shift yourself from side to side. Can you access the left and the right side equally, or do you find that there's an impingement from that accessing right to left sides? As you're standing here, coming back to center again, go from front to back. You may have noticed you are more on your toes or more on your heels, or you might have found yourself on a flat foot. Our balance is on a flat foot. When we have situations that are a little more stressful, we'll feel our body shifting to different ways of carrying ourselves. So more stress, more focus will maybe cause you to be more forward on your toes. Overwhelm might cause you to be further back on your heels. Be aware of that. Think of something that's stressful in your life, or somebody who's stressful. Just take a moment and go through your body. Go from the head to the shoulders, to your arms. How are your arms hanging at your side? Go down your back, to your hips, through your legs, through your feet. How are you feeling? That's with stress. Do you feel tension anywhere? Do you feel like you can move with great ease? Now think of joy, something joyful, something good that's happened in your life. And be aware of what's happening in your body when you think of something that's joyful. Go again, turning your head side to side. Feel your shoulders, feel your hands at the ends of your arms, feel your arms. How are you breathing? Feel how you are aligned in your body. Feel your hips. Feel your legs, and feel your feet. Did you tend to come forward with any of those issues? Were you able to stand still? Okay, let's sit back down with that awareness, and you can go back to that later. I know I'm cramming time right now, and it's going to come as a bit of a influx of too much information perhaps, but it's good to play with that. So as we are aware of those areas, what I want to bring you to are some methods that Dr. Maskatova has taught me, as well as brain gym, because it both works with the neck and the eyes, and this is a great place to work from because as I sit down and the camera is projecting on my face, I can take you through these. So what we're doing is, again, working with reflexes. I work a lot with children who have auditory processing issues, challenges with speech, challenges with movements of the neck, that kind of thing. So these exercises help to release all areas to allow for better circulation, better movement, better awareness of the body. So coming back to the face, we're working the foramen points. This is where all the nerve innervations come into the face. There are little holes in the skull where nerves move in different areas. So I want you to rub in this area. So coming again to the center of the eyebrow, so you feel from the center out, and you'll feel a little divot along the area, and that's where you're going to be. That's where the hole is. The holes are. Rubbing. Coming down below the eye, you'll find the same little divot in the bony orbit of the eye. Under the cheekbone, rubbing. These points can be sore, especially if your eyes have been bothering you lately. And then down into your chin. With doing this, it should make you feel more awake. For those of you in the eastern part of the country, it's near bedtime. This will help wake you up. Coming up to the cheeks, we're going to circle in the cheekbone. And then push up towards the corners of your brow. Let me put it that way. Inwards and up. 1, 2, 3, pushing up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, pushing in and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's much better when somebody else is working on you, but this is a quick fix for you. If you feel tension in your face, if your eyes are tired, I'll take you some neck releases also before I'm finished. And we'll do 3 times each. It's a nice number. We're now going to trace an 8 around the eye, the orbits of the eyes, up through the center, around the eyebrow, down and around, up the center, over the eyebrow, down and around, up and around. Be aware of how this body is feeling. And this is a big thing, energetic. Be aware of what's happening in the beginning. Discuss what you want to change. Always put a positive spin onto the direction you want to go in, and then do some movements to see how it changes at the end. Up to the ears. We're going to start at the top of the ears. We're going to pull from the center out, and we're going to make our way down to the lobe of the ear. It's not a good thing to have too many holes in your ears from earrings. There's all sorts of acupressure points in here. And I want to take you through one more thing. This is for your neck. The sternocleidomastoid process with your hand on your shoulder. This is from Brain Gym. Squeeze into the trapezius muscle. Look at the hand. Deep breath in. Chin low. Come across the midline as you're blowing out. Three times each side, and now to the other side. Deep breath in. Once, twice, and 3 times. I should have done that in the beginning because now I feel my voice is settling down and I can feel my breathing coming in properly and I can think better. It would have been good to start off with that. Anyway, a few pieces for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Sandra, and we will practice that diligently. Our next speaker is Leslie Gallant. Leslie is a Therapeutic Touch recognized practitioner and certified reflexology instructor. Lisa will be offering her experience of Therapeutic Touch along with her other healing modalities to personalize her therapies to help support others to rediscover their harmony, balance, and create a positive energy flow within their lives. To help in a first aid situation, Lisa will share her tools for cuts and abrasions and show how to energize an object with the intention for providing comfort and support. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. It's Lisa, and I just want to thank Michelle for inviting me to share a few of my first aid tools. So as a Therapeutic Touch practitioner, my first tool that I always use is Therapeutic Touch. So talking about cuts, abrasions, scrapes, and even burns, around the body, we have an energy field. Sometimes we've heard it being called an aura or a magnetic energy field or a bioenergy field. This is where TT, Therapeutic Touch, works. I'll show you what I mean by just using my arm. So when we get an injury, our body immediately wants to fix that damage. So things start to happen internally. And your energy field also reacts as well. So with a burn, of course, you want to stop the burn. So cold water to stop the burning of the tissue. With a cut or an abrasion, you want to clean it first. And then I would start Therapeutic Touch. So first of all, in my mind, I would have the intention of allowing the tissue to heal to its best ability, and also to accelerate the rate of healing. I want this to heal quickly. So first of all, I would move my hand down along, so starting above the injury, going over the injury, and then past the injury and out past my fingers. I'm going to feel the energy. Sometimes it feels like I'm putting my hand through jelly. You could try it. Just move your hand over top of your arm. And where the injury is, it's going to feel different because that area has been damaged. So what I want to do is move the hand through and pull energy into my hands. The universal energy. I'm not using my own energy. I would be using universal energy through me and allowing that energy to help heal the tissue, help support the tissue. And that also helps with pain. The nerves have also been disturbed, and that's where a lot of the pain comes from, is from nerves. So Therapeutic Touch is a really good modality to help calm the nerves. We know that if we calm the whole system, we will heal a lot faster when the body is in that parasympathetic response. And using Therapeutic Touch helps to calm. I would do this for a little while, and then I would let the body do its own thing. And during the rest of the day, I would do it some more until I feel that the energy has become the same all the way across. Okay, so that's my, now you would do that for burns, for cuts, for abrasions. I want to tell you about the time that I cut my thumb. I was cutting a watermelon, a serrated knife, and yep, my thumb got in the way. So I cleaned it first, then I held it together, and I thought, I might need some stitches here, but I don't want stitches. So I started my therapeutic touch, going across it. In my mind, I'm going, okay, let's get this healed fast. Allow the tissue to reconnect, allow the nerves to reconnect. My husband comes in and has a look, says, yep, you're going to the hospital. So we go to the hospital. I'm still doing this. I'm still doing my therapeutic touch. And the triage nurse looks at it, says, yep, you need stitches. I'm going, I don't want stitches. So I keep doing it and keep doing it. The doctor came in not too long after that and had a look. He says, no, you don't need stitches. You're good. So it had already started to heal over. And I walked out of there still doing my therapeutic touch. So that just proved to me that it can accelerate the healing. So that's my first tool. The second one, if you brought a teddy bear or a blanket, a teddy bear or a blanket or even a shawl, you can infuse energy into anything. Kids love to cuddle up to a stuffed animal. So why we are doing this is to bring comfort and support to those in their healing journey. So I will show you how to do this. So take your teddy bear or your blanket and just put it in your lap for a minute. I want you to take your hands and rub them together and pull them apart just a little bit. And I want you to feel in between your hands, that space that's in between there. There's something there. It's not just air. Sometimes you might feel a tingling. Sometimes you might feel a little bit of heat coming from your palms. And sometimes you might feel this, this pulling sensation as if there's an elastic between the palms of your hands. So you pull back and forth. That's your own electrical energy field. All right. So with that in mind, take your blanket or your teddy bear, put one hand on the bottom, one hand on the top. Okay. Remember what you felt between your hands. Feel that again. Now put your attention to your heart. I want you to fill your heart up with unconditional love. Just the love can go anywhere. I want you to fill it up, overflow the heart, and allow that unconditional love to come down your arms and into your hands and out the palms of your hands. And allow healing energy to come into your system and out your hands as well. So now between your hands, you have unconditional love. You have healing energy, and I like to put a color to that. I always love white healing energy. So I'm envisioning that between my hands. And I want that energy to become infused in every fiber of this blanket or in that teddy bear. Just imagine it going throughout the whole blanket. Fill it up with your unconditional love. Do this for a few minutes. Then when that question pops into your head, have I done enough? That is an indication to me that yes, I have done enough. You could even think of the person that you're going to be giving this to and think of the love for that person. So then you can give this to the person, or if you think you yourself need some support and some comfort to cuddle up to, do this for yourself as well. So at the Atlantic Therapeutic Touch, we have volunteers who knit triangles, and we infuse them with healing energy, and they get sent out to hospitals or whoever needs one. They can put this over top of an injury, right? Or they could just take it and put it around their shoulders, which I love to do. So I'm going to take this and put this around my shoulders. Or hold on to your teddy bear and just give it a good hug, and you'll feel that energy and that comfort right next to you. So those are a few of my tools, and I hope that can help you. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lisa. I do apologize for that faux pas on my part.
Okay.
Our next speaker is our special guest tonight. Debbie Rossi is coming to us from Australia and our sister organization in Bioenergetic Wellness. She is a heart math facilitator, also a breath of the heart teacher trainer. Debbie uses a profound tool called intuitive meditation for opening our hearts and listening to the innate wisdom which will guide us on our journey. By linking meditation and with bioenergetic wellness, this will provide us with the means to enrich the centering and self-care experience. We have the delight of learning and experiencing her heart connection intuitive meditation, where we will spend time with our heart space in gratitude and love for all, including ourselves. Please help me in welcoming Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for having me, yes, all the way from Australia. It's lovely to be here. So I'd like to continue the journey that Lisa began in our heart space. Lisa spoke about that unconditional love within our heart and infusing the blanket or our teddy bear. So I'd like to bring you on a journey with our heart space. So our hearts, just to give you a little bit of information, a background information about this, our hearts, we have always known throughout thousands and thousands of years in our history and traditions and even in religions, we have always found that our heart is the center of our being, the center. It's been a symbol of health, wisdom, intuition, and intelligence. And HeartMath Institute, a scientific institute in the US, and they have been studying the heart to bring in more facts and more scientific research around this innate knowing that we have always known within our heart space. And they have brought some beautiful research and understanding into this. And one of the things that they have found, which I'll take you on in a moment through a meditation, is that they have found that when you experience feelings of anger, overwhelm, stress, anxiety, sadness, it will actually create your heart rhythm, so the beating of your heart, the rhythm of your heart, to become irregular, to become jagged and uneven. And imagine that because your heart pumps blood and oxygen to every cell within your body, every cell within your body is feeling this jagged unevenness that your heart is experiencing as well. Now, if we look at on the flip side, if we look into more of positive emotions like joy, gratitude, love, unconditional love that Lisa talked about, acceptance, appreciation, when we lean into feelings and emotions more positive, what HeartMath Institute have found is that this will actually create a more even, a more smooth tone with your heart rhythm. So just now imagine that this beautiful smoothness and evenness that your heart is beating at, moving into every cell, every area of your body. It's going to help your body to move with ease, to be more coherent. And this is what HeartMath Institute have called heart coherence. And they have found that by spending just 3 minutes a day in this space of heart coherence, so in those positive emotions of love and gratitude and joy, they have found that that will then extend out into these improved bodily functions for up to 6 hours from just 3 minutes in that heart space. I have a little picture here from the HeartMath Institute that I want to show you. And you can see the top red line is the heart rate of frustration. And the bottom blue one is the heart rate of gratitude. So you can see the difference, and just imagine the frustration moving through your body as opposed to the appreciation moving through your body. And what I want to do now is I want to take you on a journey in meditation into our heart space, feeling into that coherent space of gratitude and joy and love, sending that through every fiber of our body, and then sending that out into the greater collective, the universe. So if you'd like to come on the journey with me now, please, I invite you to close down your eyes. And just beginning to feel into the stillness and silence as we begin to let go of the external world around us. With our eyes closed, we are going within. And here we'll take in 3 deep breaths. With each breath, grounding yourself in this moment, letting go of the monkey mind and becoming present to your world within. And just letting go of that deepened breath. And I invite you now to place your hand over your heart space. So placing your hand in the center of your chest. And with this physical touch that we make onto our heart space, we are signaling our minds, our bodies, and our souls that we want to privilege this space of our heart for the next few moments. This space of our heart that is filled with love, gratitude, and joy. So you may wish to bring to mind maybe a person, an event, or something that evokes great gratitude and love for you in your life. No stories, just evoking that feeling of gratitude and love. You don't need to be anything or do anything to experience this. Just leaning into the gratitude. May even be the perfect cup of tea or the sunshine on your body. And we'll spend a few moments, we'll spend 3 minutes here in this space of our heart in gratitude, evoking this for ourselves. So please bring your pinpoint focus to this gratitude and love, and if you feel your mind wandering, just continuing to connect into your hand on your heart and your feelings of gratitude and love. I'll go quiet for a moment for you to experience this for yourself. Your gratitude, your love. Keeping your soul focus on your heart space in gratitude and love. For no other reason than just because you are you. And I invite you to imagine this beautiful energy of gratitude and love. You may wish to bring in a color here that symbolizes this for you in your heart. But imagine this beautiful energy and color begin to seep through every cell within your body. Filling your entire body up with your gratitude and your love. And the fullness and richness in every cell within your body. And imagine this still continues to grow even more, growing larger than your physical body, this beautiful bubble of your gratitude, your love. Allow it to grow as large as it wants to be in this moment. Maybe there is somebody or someone or something in your life that you wish to share this gratitude and love with, this beautiful energy. So imagine sharing this now, or maybe you wish just to send it out into the universe. When you feel that this is complete for you, I invite you to imagine that this beautiful energy of your love and your gratitude begins to come back into your heart space, ground back into your heart, but feeling that little bit fuller for the experience that it has had. And when you're ready, just begin to take in 3 deep breaths, grounding you back in this moment full of your gratitude and love. It is vibrating through every cell within your body and out into the universe. And when you are ready, I invite you to gently blink open your eyes, coming back into this moment in which you sit in the room. To look around, connect back in here in this moment of now, maybe having a drink, looking around, centering back into that beautiful feeling. So thank you. Thank you for having me and for coming on the journey with me, with our heart spaces. And as now most of you move into your nighttime, may you have sweet dreams with this beautiful feeling of gratitude and love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Debbie. That was wonderful. I'm in a state of total bliss now. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle now for any questions that you may have. Our panel is available for any questions. So Michelle, please take it away.
Thanks, Ginny. If the presenters would like to bring their cameras back on, and then we can see everybody there. And for those people that are on the call, if you don't mind, if you have a question, can you put it into the chat box for us? There's a little icon right at the center at the bottom of your computer. It'll say chat. If you click on there, a little screen will pop up over to your right, and you'll be able to write in that space. And if you have anything else that people want to comment on. I was just going to ask Sandra if you could clarify for your synergy tap, I know one of the comments that had come in, what happens if you do have a bad allergy reaction? So just for us to give the warning that, you know, this isn't necessarily the way to calm a big reaction, but definitely for some of the smaller. I just wondered if you could comment on that. And you're muted. There you go.
Anytime you have something that is a sudden thing, you want to be able to have a tool in your back pocket. And I think that's what all of these different things that we've talked about do. And so I know that my own experience has shown that when we invite an approach that encompasses a healing or an energetic kind of approach, it's a fabulous adjunct to anything else we might do. So if you had an EpiPen that you needed for a sudden reaction, or if you had a sudden symptoms that looked like your breathing was going to be shutting down or closing off, you've got to seek attention right away. If you can get to a hospital or get to a person with another modality that can treat that right away. But it's really neat to have something like this that can just help to soothe the body and help to calm down those reactions for a bit. And sometimes you won't have to address it again, or it'll be something that will hold you until if you have to get to the hospital or get to your medicine cabinet and pop an antihistamine, whatever. There are other things that we do in natural bioenergetics to help that address more serious things, and that's for another time, and that's when you usually see your specialist. Yeah, is that clarifying?
That's perfect. That's great.
Okay. I know we have to be careful, don't we?
We do, and so for people that haven't used these tools either, to know what they're capable of, and then how far we can take them. So, yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
I do, for me, if I eat popcorn in the evening, if I'm watching a movie and I crawl into bed, I notice my heart will be racing a little bit. And if I do that tap, it calms the system down right away and I just fall right asleep. So that's just something I discovered, and it's worked very well. Yeah.
Would this work for sinus as well?
Yeah.
You know, anytime you provide a touch in the sinus areas, whether it's up here or in here, if you do tapping or holding, that's going to help to move the lymph and energy through your body. So that's a really good question. But I did show this pattern, this tapping pattern, to a client who did have sinus problems, and it was winter and he was always perpetually getting colds, and over the course of our work together he got a lot better, but he said that really helped him. So I would say try it, absolutely.
And Susan, I know Oria was asking about, commenting about using the tap for sinuses, and some of the pieces that you use today, I know is also helpful for sinus. Do you want to comment on that?
Absolutely. Sinuses, we're releasing the nerve plexus. We're going right into the nerve plexus and waking those nerves up so that they allow for better blood flow. We're calming the muscles around those nerves so that we're easing the stress on the face. If we have tension anywhere, often in the jaws, and I know where I worked was not to do with the jaws, but the nerve innervations go through the jaw area, and it can have an impact on the TMJ joint. Yeah, when we release these nerves, when we speak to these nerves by massaging them, then we're shifting how our eyes will see, how our nose will take in information through the sensory processes, the smell, and yeah, there's all kinds of releases, there's all kinds of gains, there's all kinds of shifts that we can do.
Beautiful. I was thinking also, Debbie, about, well, I'm sure we were all thinking how calm we felt by the time we came through Lisa's techniques and then into Debbie's. We were all nice and relaxed. And as we were thinking about what we were presenting today. So Debbie, I know you use the meditations in practice, and you've added them in, and you're working with a lot of bioenergetic wellness facilitators to have it implemented into their programs. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that?
Because one of the reasons why I do that is a big part of it is because of self-responsibility. So allowing ourselves and the people that we work with in whatever form we work with, giving them that sense of self-responsibility. And it's a beautiful way to do that through the heart space as we begin to tune into ourselves, listen to our heart's wisdom, listen to that innate knowing that is always within us. And when we feel that and when we know that and embody it for ourselves, we tend to then want to work with that more and, you know, start to take responsibility for ourselves, for whether it be our health, whether it be our, you know, mental health or physical health or whatever that may look like. But we have that, we listen, we hear, we understand, and we follow then the wisdom of our heart.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Lisa, I was thinking about when you were talking about some of the places that the triangles have gone and sometimes the teddy bears. Do you just want to talk a little bit about the work that Therapeutic Touch does within the oncology wards and palliative care? Oh, you're just muted.
I have a gremlin in my computer. Okay, with hospice,
Hospice too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have practitioners who go into hospice and do therapeutic touch. It helps to calm people. You know, that's a rough time for the families. So sometimes the families are actually sitting in the room while we're doing a therapeutic touch on the patient, and then they ask for a treatment too. So by the time you get a second treatment done in that room, that whole room is just so calm, because it doesn't just affect the person, it affects the energy all in that room as well. So the triangles that we make, some of them are small, some of them are big. It all depends on what needle that it's being knitted with. We do have the pattern on our website at atlanticttn.com. So it is on there, so anybody can make one. And I've taught you how to infuse it with energy now, so you could use that as well. So we give these out to anyone in need of comfort and energetic support.
Beautiful. Is there any other comments any of you would like to make? I don't have any more questions in the chat box. So is there anything that's come to mind? We're all calm and relaxed. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this panel and for offering up the tools that you have and for the work that you are doing in your communities. You are making a huge difference, and to be able to share this far and wide, we hope that with World First Aid Day, we have the opportunity to spread the ideas of how other tools could be valuable for people. So thank you for being here. And for those people that have been here for the webinar, we thank you for coming and enjoying it with us. And you'll find the webinar will be up on our YouTube channel at Can Be Well. And we invite you please to share it and pass it forward and help make a difference for someone else in the circle that you belong to. All right, and with that, I'm going to bring up the information for the presenters today in case anybody needs that information. And then we'll go from there. So thank you everybody for being here. And I'll just, if the presenters would like to stay, that's great. I'm just going to put the information up on the share screen. And for those people that are tuning out at the end, thank you for coming. Here's the information. I'll just minimize us here. So I'm at dancedebut.com. Sandra is at vitalenergybalance.ca. You can find Susan Terris at shaw.ca. Lisa Gallant is lisa.reflexology@gmail.ca. And Debbie Rossi is at debbierossi.com.au. That's important because when I was there today, that's the important aspect from coming from down under. All right. Thank you, everyone.